me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. Hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to cry. You can't fool me again.
What people do eat no money, what they at you, eat no at you. Covid money, me say we eat the yellow rat you. Use the youth, them money, waste and bust a man to statue. Say me like a catch you, but bigger than a figure you. Take the spit of money, God and say that is not you. One day the man above him up, him a got up. Too much eat in the kitchen, some a fly by like a patu. When singers and DJs and social media's coming at you.
It burn me.
300% raise.
It burn me.
Garbage pile of the day.
It burn me.
Give the teacher them raise.
It burn me.
I see corruption face.
It burn me.
Mash down the people them house.
It burn me.
Every day appear arms out.
It burn me.
Appear money them a thief.
It burn me.
And them a sell out the beach.
Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't fool me again.
For me say big up all the charities and all of the giver. Some a go like say them powerful, me no make a bigger. The 100 the promises, none of them not deliver. Cut up the youth, they rap and they down in our fever. Member bold money and they lie them tell. Corruption smell and they pocket them swell. When police don't a market like Satan out of hell, go mash up people start like thief when them sell.
It burn me.
Or they treat the market man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat the cat man.
It burn me.
Or they treat the peanut man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat the jerk man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat the sword man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat policeman.
It burn me.
Or them a treat soldier man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat everyone.
Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't fool me again. You can't.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Sorry about my lateness and my confusedness. My systems are not working well this morning. So some of the things I want to bring you, it's irritating me because I'm not getting things into my library. And I may have to do a screen share from somebody from Mark Golden YouTube page, which I don't really like doing, but I want to show you something. I want us to listen to the press conference yesterday. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to my community and my family members. Good morning to all viewers and subscribers. Good morning and welcome. Want to like and share the live for me, please. Don't mind me. Me just find what I need to find. 1 second. Okay. Right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Like and share the live, please. Viewers and subscribers, commenters, and everyone. Good morning. Good morning. How you do? How you do? Send go call Dr. Chang and Temps. Step to wire side here. We have like a chatting. Phil Debbie Jarvis. Good morning. Good morning and welcome. Land you back safe in Florida. That's well done. Patricia Matthews, Sunshine, Elaine Turner, Joan Brown, Natalia Freeman, Beat and Teach, Marcia Este, Patricia Williams, Marcia Thomas, Wayne Evans, Charmin Ranger, Pamela Akola, Abinasa Cody, Violet Watson, Iselin Blackwood, JP, Jabba Bye, good morning, good afternoon. Jab Bye, morning. Who else? Janet Bailey, Empress GTV. Good morning, good morning. Coots Nareen, Georgia Dennis, Janet Riley, Elga Fletcher, Althea. Good morning, Verna Adams, Marcia Thomas, Christine Gilbert. Good morning. No, it's not the flu, you know, Jav. It's the hay fever. I have hay fever, dust, and mite allergy, and I also have sinus problems. So majority of the time I'm blocked up or sniffling. Lorna Emery. I think that was where my headache was coming from yesterday. Sometimes my allergy does that to me, headache and pain in my eyes. And then you see the whole of them pollen and them galang in here fly around. But morning, hold on. I'm not going to spend time on the negativity long because we have good things to listen to with Mark Golden. But I want to address the mad dog. The mad dog come out last night and just a bark and a hole so in the dark. You know when dog a bark and a hole in the night. But I'm going to pick up on two things. I don't Andre trouble you and me. Take Andre Stevens out of this. Yes, Karen Cross, me know you have your gripe with Andre Stevens, but me not see the reason why you come cuss Andre when I'm me you fit cuss. And me and you. Keep it to me and you. Take Andre out of this. Keep it to me and you. Another thing we want to pick up on, and this is the Jamaican people me I talk to. Not talk to the mad dog because mad dog and mad dog. But this I'm talking to the Jamaican people, Claudette Robinson. This mad woman would have you believe that you cannot choose Mark Golden as a leader for our country because Mark Golden's family had involvement in slavery, and Mark Golden's family, and by extension, Mark Golden's inheritance is from slavery. That's current cross narrative, be it true or not. Mary, Jamaican callers. Devoy Davis. That's her narrative. But that same mad dog is telling you that the best thing since sliced bread was the British monarchy. Bear in mind, on this hand over here, the Golden family would be a stakeholder in our enslavement. That she's denouncing and detesting. And at the same point over here, this mad dog is still saying to you, the best thing since sliced bread was the British monarchy. We must be ruled by Camilla the harlot and Charles, the friend of the pedophile Jimmy Savile. We must be ruled by William, who we don't know if William have pedophile connection, like his grandmother and grandfather connection to Jimmy Savile, and his uncle connection to Jeffrey Epstein. We don't know that, but Karen Cross is saying to you, you must be ruled by that family who institutionalized and legalized slavery. If this is not madness, Jamaican people, and some of you are listening to it, that same person which is denouncing a stakeholder in our enslavement, Annie Jones, Tony Tall, that same person who is denouncing one of the stakeholder in our enslavement is telling us that we must be ruled by crackhead and pedophiles like she, because she know what the British monarchy stand for. But this same mad dog want to say that I have influence. Yvonne, good morning. And the Jamaican people must stay with the monarchy be ruled by criminals and pedophiles. But we must denounce the golden family. How ironic and how hypocritical. And then you want to come out here, come tell the whole away of PNP bloggers. Leave Anjay out of this, and me and you. Me know you want to cuss Anjay long time. Don't use me to cuss Anjay. Keep it to me and you, dunce. We just want to point out how dunce you is, but let's move on. Carol Gale. Call Dr. Chang a wire side then. Okay. We drive down the road. Labour said turn left. Me say no, turn right. You must send you in a roadblock. People down there wait for rob you. That's what Labour normally does. Is it not? Convince us, Dr. Chang. Yes, murder is down 24%. Brrr, clap for yourself, Dr. Chang. You have done an amazing job over the 8 years, Dr. Chang. Clap for yourself. But there are some things, Dr. Chang, that I want you to convince us about. Don't even talk about the skin out batty one where him depend everywhere social media skin out him batty look attention. So don't mind him. Don't mind that. Because remember said that they did have to go put up camera in a woman bedroom to get position and style from Joe Grind to know how Joe Grind does it so I can learn from it. Don't mind Vegas. Don't mind his impotency and his Vegas down there. Weak down there, Vegas. Don't mind that. Vegas down there. Don't mind them. But Dr. Chang, convince us of this though, Dr. Chang. Convince us, as it is said in WikiLeaks document, Dr. Chang, that you're aligned to gangs. Convince us, Dr. Chang, that the British and the Americans doesn't see you as aligned to gangs in Western Jamaica. Convince us, Dr. Chang, that you are not importing guns illegally into the country. Convince us, Dr. Chang, that the khaki suit them may want to do something good for the country, Dr. Chang, but you are not allowing them. Convince us, Dr. Chang, that you are not taking bullets out of gangsters in your surgery without reporting it to law enforcement. Convince us, Dr. Chang, that you are not a gangster. Damn fool, bright, and out order, murder down 24%. What? The people them where you're gonna kill down 24%? Or the sudden death that is going to Archer's funeral home is done. Which of it, which part and how it is done 24%? Convince us, Dr. Chan. Great Nizzler Entertainment. I hope I'm not destroying your brand name. Sorry, Susan. Love Jesus. Delroy Henry. Morning. But these are the things Dr. Chan, Winston Gibbs, need to convince us about. Rather than come convince we say crime down. For who? Is the fear of crime down, Dr. Chan? Is the worry and fear of crime down? Can that be supported, Florence, by all our we are sitting at the paper every day, the whole heap of shooting? The few rusty gun wanna find Dr. Chan. When nobody now get arrested for what we don't know of those guns operable. Because your police them have a fetish in going into empty or unoccupied building. Go look for gun and gunman. Your law enforcement tactics, Dr. Chan, thinking that removing the guns and not the gunmen are a solution. When you say, Dr. Chan, is bringing AK-47s into the country by the container load, Dr. Chang. Convince us that that is not so, because I have the intelligence from your police officers. Convince us it is not so, Dr. Chang. If plane, Dr. Chang, can jump out of sky at Norman Washington Manley International Airport, if I say name, I wonder if them not drop out of the sky by the truckload over Ian Fleming, where too much people I know depend. If the whole world I depend with international airport, Mavis Forbes, and plane can just drop out of sky, so broops, drop a down, poof, right at your foot. Imagine what is going on over Ian Fleming, real black woman. How are you? Imagine what is going on over Ian Fleming. Imagine what is going on over the rear Buena Warphone to get them 2 white boy there. Imagine, Dr. Chang. Convince us about murder done. Convince us that you can see, Dr. Chang. Convince us, Dr. Chang. Jason Kane, how are you? Convince us that you're not blind, Dr. Chang. Convince us that you're not a criminal. Convince us, Dr. Chang, that you're not a crook. Bright and out order, murder down, 24%. Give us by way of how you achieve that statistic, like your prime minister who come out and tell us it's the lowest employment figure we've ever had. Bear in mind, there's 250,000 unemployed people who was not taken into account into that survey. Lowest employment rate we've ever had. Gone are the days when people believe politicians. Gone are the days when people listen to the Gleaner. The Gleaner don't even have eye like Dr. Chang anymore, Ladybug. The Gleaner is as blind as Dr. Chang. Plane drop out of sky, boof, right at Gleaner foot ready. Did you see Gleaner see or hear anything about it until Dr. Chang ready to spew his useless narrative in public? Then you hear Gleaner come out with a waffle. How would them people, I will give them mad puss to drink. It look like when I drink out a current cross tackle now because I can't stay sober. Laverne Baker, good morning. That's why me go the other way, Laverne, because me say if the labor them say go left, me I go right. So if Dr. Chang say murder down 24%, in my view, murder up 24%, because if labor say go left, all right, me I go. You understand? But convince us, Dr. Chang, that you are not a criminal. Convince us, Dr. Chang, that you are not the reason for the escalation of crime in our country. Convince us, Dr. Chang, that your illegal guns, I would have one eye man you're talking. One eye eaters. Who are you talking to murder down? Convince us, Novlet Blade, that your illegal importation of containers of AK-47 is not fueling the murder in Jamaica, Norman Ferguson. Murder down, he said. How rude. Murder down. That's what the minister says. Murder of who and what, Dr. Chang? And where, Dr. Chang? And by way of how you achieve those figures, Dr. Chang, because we know you can't see. We're comfortable and positive about that. So who tell you? Because I don't see your seat. We know that. We know say I don't see I see make you see so. As somebody you hear, I never know Nigel tell you, because Nigel like make up things. And when Nigel beg with for 5 minutes for that the I and cross the T, him still come back with make up things, go and tell we. Till strainer start leak. And you just say whole a pop where so and whole a pop where so. Convince us though, Dr. Chang, that you're not a criminal. We've been asking for this for a very long time. We're not the only one, Dr. Chang, who've identified your criminality. Your criminality, Dr. Chang, is identified in WikiLeaks documents. Your criminality, Dr. Chang, is in Also in information, diplomatic information sent from UK and US embassy to their foreign office. Convince us, Dr. Chang, that you're not a criminal. Convince us, Dr. Chang, that the escalation of crime in Jamaica is not because of you and your criminal doings and criminal alignment, Dr. Chang, in the country. Convince us. Otada. Tell them, Dr. Chang, Paula Shelley. Tell them why Andrew can't get rid of you, Dr. Chang. Tell them why Andrew have to play kosher with Everald Warmington, Dr. Chang. Because he said, when Darrell Vaz and Chris Tufton them wanted to kill Andrew Holness for the leader of the JLP party, Dr. Chang, wasn't it your money and gunmen, along with Everald Warmington money and gunmen, who supported Andrew from the vampires, as Everald Warmington would call them? Allow me to tell, go back and listen to Everald Warmington. After you throw him under the bus and say, oh, he resigned, Beulah Wagwan. And Everald Warmington come out and say, no, I was fired and I defended him from the vipers. Who are those vipers? Andrew Holness. Who did he protect and defend you from, you bunch of criminals? This is why Andrew have to hand over the policing, the security of the country to a criminal, because that same criminal, Andrew Holness, use his money and his gun to protect you in your cascade of taking over the regime of the Jamaica Labour Party. Crime down, he said. Rosemary. Crime down 24%. It no rubber no. It no rubber no, so the man have come out and telling us say crime down, Lenford Wilson. 24%. How? Where? But then again, you have to understand the way how they talk. Because there's a glorious rant around the country, how well the economy is doing. Not even uptown people now feel the good economy. Not even them one from uptown not feeling the good economy. So the good economy where them talk about, hold on. The good economy where them talk about is only Andrew and him few I feel it. Not even the entire Jamaica Labour Party now feel it. Because this is why, James, how are you? Them not paying Andrew any attention. Andrew one have to walk around and telling lie. Because the JLP them say Andrew now share the scarce benefit and spoils with them. Andrew one take everything for himself and Andrew now make them damn fool. This is one of the reasons JamaicanTV.com why Andrew Holness is guaranteed to lose the election. Because them say them are go haul and draw them foot upon him because he is a very stubborn person. Him don't take no advice from any of them. Him don't listen to any of them, and this is why Andrew and the entire party in a pickle. Nobody now come rub up against him for save him, then say you want bring your up. Marva Dice, how are you? You want bring your up, bros? Well, one. Carlin Jones. And you want why have to sort it out because I feel one stiff neck and hard years damage the party. You know, see, even the meeting where them call up a central executive how much a week ago, there was nothing that they could have done to the governance structure to change the dismay of the people in the country and in the Labour Party as well, because Andrew is not having it. The purpose of the central exec meeting wasn't to change them few people that you see within the executive of the Jamaica Labour Party. That change doesn't do anything to repair the damage of the country. What the central executive wanted was changes in the governance structure, which Andrew stick two fingers up to them, Colin. And you see it's not going anywhere for them. But I want us to listen together because this is a hugely important issue, and Jamaica, will pay attention. And I beg Mark Golden and the people them, don't strike the YouTube page because this is the information that needs to go out to the people. I'm going to let us listen together Mark Golden's full press conference. All if you're not here already, listen to it again because Maxine Cummins, it's about all of us. It's about your children's generation, Gloria Morris. It's about your generation. It is about protecting the rights to our rights for the next 200 to 1,000 years. Look at it like that. Don't look at it in the breadbasket way as today, as we look at things. Let's look at it 200 to 1,000 years from now. The American Constitution is 200 and odd year old. You see how fast it come to a tickle tackle. I'm frozen again. You see how fast it come to a tickle tackle when Father Trump was involved. Now that we have our own baby Trump, we must be vigilant and we must be very, very careful. So let us listen to Mark Golden press conference, and then we will come back on the other side.
Good morning, members of the media and viewers and listeners. The purpose of this press conference is to discuss issues relating to the constitutional reform process which have been in the media over the past week or so.
Are you hearing it, people?
Is one of intergenerational importance to our country. Jamaicans will have to live under the new constitution for generations to come. We have a solemn duty to ensure that the new constitution is appropriately balanced and will protect the rights of our people and the democracy that guarantees our freedoms. Therefore, due care and attention must be given to the proposed changes that will be put into any new constitution. And as the opposition, we have a particular responsibility.
Turn the volume up on your device for me, please. It's very low on this end.
The process of reform must be fully open and transparent. The Constitutional Reform Committee, or CRC, has issued a report, and it must be immediately shared with the public. It cannot be hidden away and only known by its members and by the inner reaches of government. Indeed, the public should have been empowered to review and comment on the reform proposals as detailed in that report, so that the public's views on the specific proposals could be considered by the committee before the report was sent to cabinet. In my view, the entire reform process has been flawed. It should have been preceded by intense public education on the existing constitution so that the people of Jamaica would have been informed as to what now exists and where the changes ought to come. The reform process should have been genuinely open to a fresh look at the kind of constitution that Jamaicans want to have in the 21st century, rather than limiting ourselves to positions that were agreed some 30 years ago in the 1990s. The terms of reference of the reform should themselves have been open to consultation and consensus, rather than being narrowly dictated by the government. As a result of how it's happened, the decision made by the government to implement positions agreed by the two political parties some 30 years ago, when Jamaicans who are now up to 50 years old had no role in or awareness of those discussions, is an untenable process for seeking engagement and participation in the new constitution by our people. As a result, the reality is that the public consultations which have occurred have really had little significant impact on the contents of the proposals in the CRC report, which has gone to Cabinet yesterday for approval. The wide-ranging desires and concerns of the public for Jamaica's constitution have not found their way into any significant reform proposals in that document. From the outset, back in June or July of 2022, before any Constitutional Reform Committee was appointed, I wrote to the Minister of Legal and Constitutional Affairs to make it clear to the government that for us in the People's National Party, final and full decolonization is a fundamental issue of access to justice for the Jamaican people and of national sovereignty. I have been open and consistent on this position throughout the process since then. Indeed, it is not a Mark Golding position. It is a position of the People's National Party. And we have been consistently trying to move Jamaica in this direction for decades, as you know. Our position is that time come to leave the British monarchy in full, once and for all. When Jamaica is moving out of the King's Yard, we cannot have 1 foot in and 1 foot out of the yard. That would leave us neither fish nor fowl in another man's yard. That can't work. We will not support a phased approach to dealing with the matter of full decolonization, because the phased approach does not guarantee its attainment. It may never happen if we do it that way. The arrangements for access to our people's final court need to get away from visa requirements. We need to get away from rules of court that are in conflict with and whittle down our constitutional rights of appeal. We need to get away from the exorbitant costs of appealing to a final court in London. Ladies and gentlemen, an appeal to the final court can cost taxpayers of Jamaica, in a case involving the government, of over $130 million for one appeal. That is unsustainable and a waste of taxpayers' resources, given where we are in terms of our institutional arrangements regionally. We must move away from having our constitution interpreted by a colonial era court
We never have the system unmute it. Sorry, audience. Me unmute it to stop and start the little likes war. And the likes war me I talk about. 200 and down no day and not about 100 and no hit the like button yet. And that's why I tap the live to sit down and look down, just like how you sit down and look upon me and have no finger. Just now do nothing so. Make we see the likes go up to 150. Let's take the likes up to 150, man. I don't have to go on so. People don't have to quarrel over the thing every morning. Let's get back to it.
Comprised of judges in the UK who have no first-hand knowledge of Jamaican culture and conditions. We must move with full confidence in the Caribbean Court of Justice. It is an institution of excellence that has been designed to be both independent of political influence and accessible to our people at an affordable cost. It is a regional institution that Jamaica helped to design and establish. It is fully funded by a trust fund to ensure its protection from external influences. And our people, the Jamaican people, helped to pay for that trust fund. Jamaica is still awaiting Prime Minister Andrew Holness's clear position on the issue of moving away from the Privy Council to the Caribbean Court of Justice as our final court of appeal. From last October, the minister promised that Mr. Holness would soon be making a statement clarifying his position and the government's position on this. 3 weeks ago, I discussed the matter with Mr. Holness behind the Speaker's chair in Parliament, and he said he would be considering the matter, which he understood to be of great importance to us, and that he would let us know where he stands. I didn't hear from him, and I wrote to him a week ago, once again, requesting him to make his position known. Jamaica still has not heard from its Prime Minister on this fundamental issue. Ladies and gentlemen, the People's National Party cannot sign off on a report that does not facilitate us moving forward with a bipartisan approach based on consensus around the new constitution. We as opposition are also concerned about several of the reform proposals that are in the CRC report that has been taken to cabinet, which we regard as problematic in several respects. And I will mention some of those now. As it stands, the report would enable the government of the day, and this is not about the current government or a future government. This is any government going forward once we have a new constitution. The report would enable the government of the day to use its majority in Parliament to install a president, head of state of the government's choosing, in circumstances where there's no consensus with the opposition as to the appointment of that individual as president. This is unacceptable. The president has important powers, making appointments to sensitive positions within the government and the state, and also ceremonial duties as a figure of national unity. It is vital that the president must be someone who enjoys the trust and confidence of both political parties and the wider public. The report would allow the government of the day to use its majority to extend the life of Parliament beyond 5 years. Again, we do not think any government should have that power on its own. The report does nothing to strengthen accountability within Parliament. It expressly rejects the introduction of an impeachment procedure for parliamentarians whose misconduct brings that office into disrepute. Despite an impeachment bill having been developed and tabled in Parliament by the Bruce Golding government, although they never passed it at the time, despite the passage of an impeachment bill being an unfulfilled JLP manifesto commitment from 2016, and despite an updated impeachment bill having been tabled by me as leader of the opposition in Parliament in 2021. Despite these things, the report is saying there should be no impeachment procedure in the new constitution. The report also does nothing to end majority party control of important parliamentary committees, which should be for providing checks and balances to hold the government to account for its conduct of the nation's business, but as it stands today, are dominated by the government side. As it stands today, most of these committees are controlled and managed by government MPs, with the opposition only having a very small presence and not appointing the chairman. This report does nothing about that. The report also does not deal with long-standing issues of concern to important stakeholders. The desire for engagement and participation by Jamaicans in the diaspora who support our country's national development in critical ways, financially and otherwise. It does nothing to recognize the rights of indigenous groups such as the Maroons and the Rastafari community. These things have not been addressed in the report, despite being matters of real concern to many Jamaicans. Ladies and gentlemen, the rush to take this report to Cabinet without allowing the committee to deliberate on these important issues raised by the opposition in my comments sent last week Friday via Minister Hilton to the minister who co-chairs that committee shows that the government has no genuine desire to achieve consensus on the contents of the new constitution. As can be expected, the government is now seeking to shift blame to us as the opposition for the government's failure to engage authentically with the opposition to identify a common pathway forward. The public should not be hoodwinked by what is being said in the media today. We have been responsible. We have sought to participate genuinely in the process. We have very real concerns about some of the contents of the report, and we have a fundamental issue, which is at the core of our party's philosophy, which needs to be addressed, and we need to hear from the Prime Minister if we're to move forward together. As I have said, this matter will govern generations to come, and we must allow and follow our conscience and do what we believe to be right by the Jamaican people. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, that was Mark Golden's press conference yesterday. Let me just acknowledge the people who came on: Toots Noreen, Jackie Rockwood, Norman Ferguson, RJ, Precious Allen, Diana Atkinson, Evan Green, Carleen Jones, Bros, Willett Foster, Shauna Smith, Vion Holness, Diana Atkinson, Amar Johnson, Carleen Richards, Blue Wade, Raymond, Patricia Williams, Yvonne Johnson, Mitchie, Mary Messenger TV, Look at TV, Albert C. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for joining. Murder down, he said, 24%. He even gave us a figure. But Mark Golden, in his refusal to sign off on the new constitutional phase 1 report, is correct, because the government is, as in everything they do, is a one-upmanship. Of course, we should have a complete detachment from the British monarchy. and from the structure of colonization. This is not the regime to carry that task through. This regime is refusing to interact and dialogue with three major fractions of the Jamaican community. Those of us in the diaspora, the indigenous Maroon community at home, which no other government had the issue that Andrew Holness has and is having. The Rastafarian community, hypocritically as they are, play a very important role in our Jamaican society. And in your constitution, what you want to do is recognize everybody and make way for everybody and make sure that one rights doesn't suppresses the other rights, regardless of our differences. So therefore, in a constitutional review like this, it needs representation of all voices at the table. This government, this regime is not going that route. Thereby, from day one, my advice to the Jamaican people is vote down this constitutional amendment. It's not been done to the benefit of us. It's not been done to the benefit of reinforcing and protecting the rights, democratic freedom, and principles of our next generation for 200 to 1,000 years. On those reasons, why the Prime Minister wants this so bad that he's running so. It's about him becoming presidency. It's to do with the sovereignty of Jamaica land itself as well. This is why you see the Prime Minister is so hell-bent on his disengagement and lack of tolerance for the Maroon community, particularly their compound Maroons, because the Prime Minister would be under advice, done as the legal department are. And they are aware of the international jurisdiction of indigenous people and the sovereignty of land recognized by the United Nations. So the Prime Minister hastily whittling away with the Constitution, not recognizing the indigenous sovereignty and rights of the Maroon, is to become, as the Prime Minister once told us, not 1 inch, he said. Now wait, not 1 inch of it, he says. What did John Crowder? Hold on, the people. Not that. Everything he says belongs to me. Not 1 inch of it. Not 1 inch of it. Everything is mine. I wonder for this.
Welcome back to Primetime News, and a special welcome to the folks.
No, I know that. But you remember that speech, Audrey Cohen, Prof. Gorgeous Lady. You remember that speech the Prime Minister made when he talked about not 1 inch, everything is sovereign land. I don't know why I'm not getting this particular video up. But we must always be reminded of who these people are and what they stand for. Always be reminded. I think it's this, Hold on there.
No other sovereign authority in Jamaica other than the government of Jamaica. Not 1 inch of Jamaica will come under any other sovereign authority. The Prime Minister of Jamaica, Imagine.
So to answer your question, that is one of Andrew Holness hastily whittling away at the constitutional reform to write out and remove the Maroons from the Jamaica he is preparing under this new constitution. What that would set Jamaica, if you don't understand how geopolitics, Sonia Barracks, works, what that would set is the tone for war, for civil war in Jamaica. Because what Andrew Holness would want to do under this new constitution, if he gets it through the way he wants it, is that he would what you call the word, what the American them normally do, invade the Maroon community, want to take over jurisdiction. Because you must also remember that Andrew Holness is mad about mining in the cockpit country arena. So by him ram-reading through the Constitution the way he wants it, if he gets it the way he wants it, it will remove Chief Curry's legal jurisdiction because of the way how they would write the Constitution as Jamaica as a unitary democracy. But no, we have a cockpit country within Jamaica, Deborah Cohen. Jeanette Riley. So then, Andrew Holness under the new constitution would then see it fit to take over the jurisdiction of particularly a compound town. And this is the hastily. Why I don't think Andrew said, go burn down the Maroon community attorney's office. Andrew Holness is going after a very important document, but I remind you, Andrew Holness, a one set of fool around here. A one set of fool is shown up in public every day. Just remember who that one set is. But that is to remove Janet Yvonne Riley, Chief Curry's jurisdiction, and then whoopsie daisy. Andrew get the cockpit country with him for himself for Robbie Rose and Walla Walla and split it up and share it up for him and him Chinese investor them. But mighty God and your wholeness, I tell you, you would spark a civil war on this island that you would never win. Because the people from the sea to the hill will turn against your regime. The British education of the division between the Jamaican people and the Maroon will wistfully swept aside in order to prevent a dictatorial tyrant from taking over our country and force us into dictatorship and barbarism. It's not going to happen, Andrew Holness. So don't think you're going to. Sorry, people, if you pick me nose. So the flying same thing them have me nose galang. So if you think if you get this constitution and this constitution through, this constitution will end in bloodshed, Jamaican people. Let me tell you, if you want to follow Andrew Holness and the way he wants to have this constitutional review for a new constitution, Andrew's constitution will create civil war and bloodshed on the island because he cannot remove 280 years of sovereignty. You can't do it. It would be a bloodshed on the island. And us, the people, must stop that. Mitchie, we cannot look for the barbarian to end barbarity. It is us, the good people, Noreen Dennison, must stand up against these demon and barbarian. So if you want to make Andrew lead your country into a bloodshed, with the way he's going with the Constitution, trying to write out the Maroons, trying to write out indigenous people out of Jamaica, there's a document that protects that. The United Nations respect, acknowledges, and protect the rights of indigenous people. You and your team don't understand. I mean, here you got them all about a spew time batty. We not talk about domestic law and honor feelings and emotion. Take out the emotions out of this. We're talking about international law. This has nothing to do with domestic jurisdiction. You have to understand the international context to it. The context entrenched in the UN on this. So we're not going to listen to our waste time on dryland fish like Vegas. Oh no. Dryland fish, we have to put camera in our bedroom just to see how well Joe Grind performed. That I may learn something from Joe Grind. Vegas dead down there. Let's not waste time. But anyway, me pack my suitcase. And I go haul myself going now because of slow train. I go up and tell them I want free ticket for the slow train. So it don't make no sense me go spend money on the slow train, on the fast train. You just have to go suffer the anxiety today and go on the slow train for about 2.5 hours. If I did the fast train, me depend, it would be about 1 hour and 16 minutes. So, me have to go bear the hour add anxiety and can take me time go on. Or me say veteran paya forward for me from morning. But I bet you me reach before sundown, veteran. I guarantee you, me reach before sundown. In this situation, you must not let the right hand know what the left hand know. But may I tell you, Andrew Holness, you're on a losing rant. We are ready. We're ready when lose our jaw. Why do these people learn? Why do these people learn from history? If a war them want, the Maroons will oblige or cheat who was signed with blood. Rebel with the cause, how are you? Morning. You never see when you come on. Karen Nemard, how are you? Carleen Jones. Listen, people. We must denounce the Andrew Holness-led constitutional review. Bob Marley, boy, I keep listen to Bob Marley's song, Ambush in the Night. Listen, this song represents this government. Because this government has done a lot of ambush in the night. Him done it to even in party when him do that thing to Christoph and them, where them carry him to court and win for. There's a lot of ambush in the night. Oh, that's sweet, man. There's a lot of ambush in the night that this government has done. But people, if we don't stand up and protect what we have, don't expect nobody to come protect it for we. You look across the world, if everybody, because I'm not for the government alone and move tyrannical around the world, there are other tyrannical governments, but it is our duty, us the Jamaican people, it's our duty to protect ourselves from the tyranny, to protect future generation. Stronger together. Daisy Magazine, how are you? To protect future generation, Maya Brown, from the tyranny to come. If we allow this government to ram raid Miguel King, with our Constitution, the way they are going with it. Can you please give a lesson on Constitution and what it means for our rights? I will look into do that next week. Then hold this when I'm back in London, where I can prepare notes and slide on that. I will have to do a preparation on that because it is something very important. And I'm not being whimsical, but this was one of my pain when Partner Draw dismantled, because round about that time, we were to start a constitutional education on the stance of the current constitution and what this constitutional review mean. And because I was of the view that if people doesn't understand the currently how a constitution works or how the constitution protects you, then they will not be able to understand populace much of what is in the review. And that was one of the pain for me with that whole. But we have to move on and do things how and where we can. But yes, I will look into that because it is something rather important. And Mark Golden is right. Not just Mark Golden, but the People's National Party is right to be holding out on this, because this doesn't just protect us, my people. It protects your children. You don't want your children to fall in the hands of a dictator. And you don't want it to be said by your children. Where were they when that government was changing, was ripping up what they had and changing it to what we have now? Just like our generation would speak about those who it is said that sold us out in slavery. Don't let 2, 4, 5 generations down the road ask, where were we, this current generation, when they were destroying our democratic principles and our fundamental rights? Where were you? Where were you? So when you hear the mad dog them come out and say, we can't vote for Mark Golden. We can't vote for Mark Golden because Mark Golden family them did involve in a slavery. That same mad dog is telling you out of the other side of him drivel mouth that you must be ruled by William, who we are not sure of William's pedophile connection. Because, Emery, how are you? We knew, Daniel Taylor, that William's father and William's grandmother were close friends to pedophile Jimmy Savile. It's well documented. We also know that William's uncle Andrew is a very close friend to Jeffrey Epstein. This is the same person Karen Cross is saying should be the head of state for Jamaica. Camilla walk onto our front all over the place and now becomes the queen for Jamaica. That is what she's asking us to accept. But we must, that family who legalized and institute slavery, she's asking us to accept. But she's asking us to denounce a stakeholder who was involved in the trade that the monarch, the royal household, legalized. If that is not hypocrisy and blatant blind anger and dunceness in public, I don't know what that would be. But thank you all for joining me this morning. Join me back tonight from the West Midlands for your People's Point of View program. I'm going to take my time, draw myself from one side of the country to the other, at the moment. So thank you all very much for being great supporters of the Global Television Group. Thanks for your daily support, even though sometimes I have to drop a dot and walla with the honor over the few little likes. But whenever my live goes out, you all turn up, and I appreciate that very much. So thank you all for your support, Mavis Forbes, and I will see you on the other side of the country later on. Thank you very much, and good morning, good afternoon from the Global Television Group.